Okay. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Sheriff. Hi, I'm your Sheriff, Danny H. Rogers of the Guilford County Sheriff's Office. Today, our guest speaker, or our guest knowledgeable person that will bring me wisdom as well as the community is Madam Avery Crump, DA Avery Crump of Guilford County. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking time out and coming and schooling me, teaching us. You know, I enjoy. Well, first and foremost, I love you dearly and your family.
Well, thank you.
I got a chance to meet you all years ago as you were campaigning for judge, and I saw your work. I saw how you went through, and then I saw how you pushed for the community to help do things, bring some changes. You know, it's unfortunate that people believe that the school system, the judicial system, can make the changes without their input from home. I like to tell people, I want to be I don't mind it. I don't mind being the first person you see, as long as we're able to talk about it before I become the last person you see before you go into courts.
Yes.
You know, so let's talk a little bit about your experience, where you come from, little stuff like that.
Okay. Once again, I'm Avery Crump, District Attorney here in Guilford County, and grew up in a small place called Statesville, North Carolina. Back then, a lot of people hadn't heard of Statesville, so I would always say it's near Charlotte. You know where Charlotte is. My husband and I, we moved here to Guilford County in late '99, and I have been a public servant of Guilford County since then. But I started my career in Bronx County, New York, working as a prosecutor straight out of law school, but was led to come back to North Carolina. In Guilford County, I have worked as an assistant DA for 9 years. Ran for district court judge, and I served as an elected district court judge for over 9 years. And then my heart was led to come back to the DA's office, and full circle. So I'm now in my second term as the elected district attorney here of Guilford County. And when I say full circle, I always knew I wanted to go into prosecution. And then my heart led me to be a judge. I thought I could make more change as a judge here in Guilford County. And after being a judge for over 9 years and seeing the things that I saw and experiencing the things that I experienced, and mind you, I love my job as a judge, but I realized that I can make more change as the elected DA. And so that's why I gave up that judicial position and ran to be the district attorney here in Guilford County. And it's been a lot of work, it's been hard work, but I still love my job every day.
Let's talk a little bit about when you say change. I love that. I love the word change, because sometimes change is so hard for people to buy into, to bite into, or to grab onto. Let's talk a little bit about when you first came in. There was 40-some thousand people without driving license in the county. Hear me, not the state, but the county of Guilford County. And I can attest, guarantee you what you're saying is true, because I will stop people. I ask them for a driving license, they give me ID, or they give me, I'm like, this is not the driving license. So talk to me a little bit about how you help bring change in that area.
Well, when I was as a district court judge, of course, a lot of people came before me didn't have a driver's license. And sometimes as simple as not paying the speed ticket, not going to court for a speeding ticket, just forgetting to go to court. Well, you're gonna lose your driving privilege. And they would say, well, Judge, I never had a driver's license. I said, but it's the privilege itself. So even if you don't have that plastic card, you've lost your privilege. And so when I was running to be the next district attorney, I'm out in the community, because I believe being out in the community is very important for us, for all elected officials, to know who you represent, to know what your constituents believe in and what they would like to see happen here in Guilford County. And one of the things that kept coming up was we need to have that driver's license restoration program in Guilford County, because it was popular in some of the other counties, but we didn't have it here in Guilford. And Sheriff, you're correct. Guilford County was number one for those with suspended, revoked driving privileges for unpaid tickets. And so what I did when I was elected in 2018, took office in 2019, I decided that, you know what, I'm not going to ask for money from the city or from the county. I'm going to do it myself. And so my office started the driver's license restoration program with the assistance of the North Carolina Pro Bono clinic out of Raleigh. And it is so enlightening to help individuals get their driving privileges restored, all because they couldn't pay a traffic ticket. I mean, we're talking about losing your driving privilege for 20 years, 25 years. That's a long period of time. And I'm not talking about those that were convicted of DWIs, driving while impaired cases. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking strictly for unpaid tickets, unpaid fines, or not going to court and just not thinking, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. So the good thing about this program was we did the hard work. We got the names from the Pro Bono clinic. We checked their records. Those that qualified under the criteria that I had set, we would go to court, ask a judge to waive and remit all of these fees and fines that these individuals owed so that they could be licensed drivers here in Guilford County. And so it was a lot of work, and we're still doing it. We still run our calendar to this day. COVID did not stop us. It slowed us down, but it did not stop us. The calendars got smaller, but it did not stop us. And so we have helped thousands on thousands of people get their driving privileges back, and they don't even have to come to court. Because we're doing all the hard work. We're doing the leg work, we're going to court, we're making the request, and the judges were very, very, very considerate of that request and allowed that.
Now, speaking, when we met on Monday at High Point,
Yes.
And I was really surprised when you said that the docket would be no more than 200 per docket. And I remember back in the day, I would have 200 cases on the docket. I was sitting there thinking like, well, shoot, I guess I never would have had no cases come to court. But mine was pretty much cut and dry. Citations for speeding, no operating license, DWIs, or larceny charges, stuff like that. But now, with the dockets being going from, because dockets would be like 700, 800, and you all would be in court all day long.
And we're going back to some of those dockets. But we started a new criminal system called Enterprise Justice. Some people know it as Odyssey as well. And it went live in Guilford County along with 9 other counties on that same day on April the 29th. And it's I call it a paperless system. And we went, like I said, we went live on April the 29th. And for me and for my people, as well as for the citizens of Guilford County, when you're starting something new, you need to first scale back on your cases in court so that everyone can get used to this new system, so that you can adjust to this new system. And once you get proficient at running this new system, then you can increase your caseload. You can increase the cases in court. And so until we get proficient, and I would think by the end of this month, most departments should be proficient enough in typing in and looking and researching, because this is, like I said, this is new, this is change. Sometimes people don't like change. Yeah. And I'm a big believer, change is coming, and when it comes, you have to be prepared. And so for me, it was about not setting not only my office up for failure, but not having people come to court and having to sit there all day because the dockets are too huge. And with this new system, you just can't get through it because you're not familiar with it. And so for me, it's about learning the system, becoming proficient in using this new system, and then increasing the cases back in court. So I hope we don't get back up to the 700 case dockets, but we will get more than the 200 cases.
Thank you for explaining that. When I heard it the other day, I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Crime hasn't stopped. It hasn't slowed down. It's still here. So we still have the cases coming in.
A few weeks ago, we were talking at the panel section that we had, the
The
call-in, yes. The
No, you're
youth.
talking about the violent crimes. Okay.
And I sat there and I looked in the faces of babies,
Yes.
literally babies, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. And I saw one particular one, I saw several of them, but one particular one just really stood out to me. Not because of, I'm thinking he's a bad child or a bad person. He stuck out to me because I realized that is a baby. Not only is he a baby, but he was not a leader, a follower. The OGs, old gangsters, I talk about them because I want them. I want them, especially when they're the ones that are pushing these kids, And when I watched him, I thought about the conversation that we had several weeks prior to that about kids, or not just kids. When I say kids, they of age, but they committed these horrendous acts of crime, and they're gone forever.
That is the case. What's happening, what we're seeing a huge trend in, is those charged with committing these violent offenses, whether they're homicides or robberies with guns, they're getting younger and younger.
Yes.
Younger and younger. The gang violence, it's like the older gang members are pushing the younger gang members to do things. I don't know if it started because of raise the age, because mind you, we had gangs here in Guilford County. A lot of people don't want to talk about that.
They don't
Listen,
talk
I
about
will tell you, we had gangs here in Guilford County before Raise the Age happened. Raise the Age happened on December the 1st, 2019. But since then, it seems as if we have younger people committing these crimes. And whether they know it or not, just because you're younger is not going to prevent you from having to face that consequence.
Right.
And what we have to do in our office, in the DA's office, is when those cases come before me, come into our office, we evaluate all these cases, but being that age, whether you're 15, 16, 17, 18, I can go on. If you commit a homicide, you're going to get treated as an adult. That's just the way it is. That's the law here in North Carolina. I believe in that law, and that's what's going to happen. And we have seen a lot of violence perpetrated by our youth. Yeah. Now, what can we do to help solve this? What can we do to help prevent some of this violence? I'm a big proponent in we have to have community involvement.
We have to have it.
We cannot do it on our own. The thing that I can do is sending a message that the violence will not be tolerated, but let's try to prevent from even getting to that point. So for me, I like getting into the community, trying to explain to community workers, trying to explain to our elders, trying to explain to our church members. Church needs to be involved to explain, listen, we have to do everything that we can do to save our youth. Yes. Because once they commit certain offenses, as you indicated, their lives are basically over. Yes. Because it's my job to seek justice. It's my job to protect the community. I took an oath to do that, and I'm going to do that. But it doesn't mean that I don't care about our youth. Right. I love.
You know, I know you do.
I love our youth. And I wish that we had programs, we had other things in our community that we can grab a hold of them and say, look, you need to think twice before you do.
I think we do have, I know we have this program.
We have programs.
I'm going to go there on that one. They've not been vetted, one. Two, they're in it for the money, for the gain for themselves. And three, if it does not involve their own personal family or members or of their clique. They want to receive as much as they can receive, money-wise. You know, does it take monies to run these programs? Sure, it does. Sure, it does.
Because it takes personnel.
It does.
So you have to have money to pay the personnel. You have to have money to have the boots on the ground. But I wish that we could do more. If we want to save our youth, then we have to do more. And we have to get to our youth before they get into the court system.
And you said key. You mentioned the stakeholders in the community, the nonprofit organizations in the community, or as well as profit people in the communities, the churches, the faith-based organizations, regardless of the faith of individuals. We need them all.
We do. It takes a village. Remember back in the day, we always said it takes a village to help raise a child.
Yes.
We need all of our village members to come to the table. I don't know if it's town halls. We need to do more town halls, because I do town halls. We do other meetings. But as I said at our call-in, the Violence Crimes Task Force call-in that we participated with our federal partners, as I said then, we care about you. We have all of these community supports that were at this meeting to help you get jobs, to help you go back to school, to help you learn a trade, just to help you do something different than having a gun in your hand or going down this wrong path.
Yes.
As a mother, I don't want to see that happen.
I get it.
But as the district attorney, you're going to face a consequence if that happens.
So we see so many of these young children committing these criminal acts. I saw and I heard first, then I saw what caught his attention.
Yes.
And what caught his attention? Because the whole time he was there, like, I don't want to be here.
Right.
Y'all can go somewhere else, da 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 da. But the moment they mentioned the opportunity to make a living, making money,
Yes.
driving trucks, it caught his full attention.
Because you can make some serious money being a truck driver. That is an honorable career.
It is.
But you're correct. I think everyone on the panel kind of noticed that the young man kind of wasn't paying attention. But as soon as they talked about that, being a truck driver and how much money you can make as a truck driver, which is a lot more than you can make just getting out here getting in trouble.
Law enforcement, yeah, that too. But law enforcement too. Sometimes.
Yes. It caught his attention, and I believe that he, at the end, went trying to sign up for that. So that's what we need people to understand. That's what we need our youth to understand. There are serious opportunities out here. College is not for everyone.
It's not.
But there are some serious opportunities out here. There are some serious chances for you to turn your life around.
Right.
You just have to put yourself and meet up with the right people. And that's the thing, whether it's a career in law enforcement, they don't want to do that. But guess what? That's an admirable career.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And so we just need our young people to understand that it doesn't matter where you come from.
Let's talk a little bit about the mental health of the youth, not of the ones that we see that we deal with, because we already understand that before we get them or before we come in contact with them on an ongoing basis, there has been some mental health issues that became a part of their being, where people wouldn't catch it.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that. When I speak of that, because neither one of us are mental health professionals, but we see what we see what we see, and we see where we believe that our positions can help somebody as they're coming through. What do you think is one of the big things that we can do to, I know we can pass the buck, we pass them on to a mental health professional, and we do those things. But what is it that we can come in contact on agreement to do with these people?
Well, you know, with young folks, or even with older folks, with the young folks, normally, you know, the mental health issues will show itself with the family. So, family, if you see that your child is struggling, you really need to get your child some help. It can come out in school. That's right. Schools, if you see these students are struggling with mental health issues, and mind you, that's happening a lot. I think we had the issues before COVID and children being out of school for so long. I think it made it worse. It made it worse. And now you're seeing a lot of our students, and I'm not just talking about middle school, high school, I'm also talking about kids in college. They're suffering a lot with mental health issues. But the schools, if you see someone is struggling, you need to make sure that services are in place. And then with the court system, you know, what we have is if someone, law enforcement, you all always come into contact with someone before we ever see them. Right. As the head law enforcement official here in Guilford County, I only get involved when you or the other law enforcement agencies charge someone and then send them to us. But what I can tell you is what we have here in Guilford County, in both Greensboro and in High Point, we have what's called mental health court. Okay. We also have drug treatment court. And like I said, in Greensboro and High Point, because we understand that people coming into the system, a lot of them may have mental health issues. And so we try to identify that with the assistance of some of our partners in these courts, to identify these individuals and try to make sure that they get the help that they need. You never want to believe that it's too late. Right. By the time they get into the system, depending on what they're charged with. But people need to understand there are programs out here, there are services out here. And I think you've started a new service here in the jail.
We enhanced the reentry program here, the jail diversion program, getting people prepared for when they exit the jail to go to their resources. Right. To use those resources to try to keep them out
of the system. And that's what we need to do, whatever we can to keep people out of the system. And so that is a worthy program right there, because you look at those with substance abuse issues as well as mental health issues, to make sure they can get the services that they need. And that's the same way with our mental health courts and our drug treatment courts. Those courts are designed to help people get the services that they need, and if they successfully participate and complete the program, then guess what? They get that help that they need in that criminal justice system as well. So it's all about trying to get services out to people, getting the word out to individuals so that they know that, well, for this district attorney's office, it's not all about punishment. Right. Look, you have to pay a consequence, but it's not all about sending people to prison. Yeah. For me, I've always said justice looks different for the victim, the community, and the defendant. Right. But we always try to do what's right and make sure that we give the right type of justice whenever we handle all of our cases. And so mental health is real.
It is.
And people have to acknowledge that. And hopefully individuals are able to get the services that they need to handle the issues that they have.
My last question is this, and I thank you for taking time out. I really do this. I'm honored. I'm privileged. I'm grateful for you to take the time out here, because you're a very busy woman.
I have been very busy lately. I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot going on in Guilford County.
Let's talk about your staff, your team. Let's talk about your team, your awesome team that hold you up, lift your arms up, to help you go through your daily. People don't understand. There's a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes. Yes. There's a lot of things that you deal with, or I deal with, or people we deal with in these positions that, you know, the public just don't have an inkling of a clue.
That's correct.
And if we didn't have the right team members that loved on us, that prayed with us or prayed for us, and be there for us, we couldn't do this job.
Couldn't do it. Guilford County, as you know, but a lot of people in the community don't know, it's the third largest county in the state of North Carolina. And Guilford County is also different in that we have 2 fully functioning courthouses in one county. We have our Greensboro courthouse, we have our High Point courthouse. So I have offices in both places. And I will tell you, my team in both places, they're phenomenal.
That's awesome.
They are phenomenal. As you said, you know, we have courts all the time. The district attorney's office, I am responsible for every single criminal or traffic matter that is charged. Every single thing, for expired registration or speeding, all the way up to capital murder and everything, or murder and everything in between. All of that stuff comes, and all of those charges come into our office. So I have a staff of about 70 divided between Greensboro and High Point. We have district courts every day. In some of your counties they do not, but we have district criminal court every day in both Greensboro and High Point. And it takes a lot.
It does.
And but as I said, I have a great group of people that work for me. Because they work for me, I am able to continue to do what I want to do to try to bring change and to try to make things successful in Guilford County. I couldn't do it. You cannot do it by yourself. You have to have the right people surrounding you. And so I have great people in leadership roles in both Greensboro and High Point to make sure that the office is running correctly and running properly, and that we are accessible to the community. One of the things that I made sure that people knew is that, look, yeah, you can actually get a meeting with the district attorney.
Yeah.
I do meet with community members. I do. And so, like I said, my team is awesome. I wouldn't trade them.
In closing, we have the cases that you dealt with, and I want to see these young men again sometime down the road. I'm going to hear something from them or somebody. I say that because many years ago there was some cases that went on, and I never thought that I would be the sheriff and it would come across my desk. And I remember those babies.
Yes.
I knew those babies through just interaction in law enforcement or business. And I know they were so young. Now they're up in their age, and remorse. They have talked about change. You know, it's just hard to see these babies go off, but it's even harder to see them do the stuff that they do because they were not a follower. They were either coerced or saw somebody get them into those issues, you know. So I guess I answered the question.
You did?
You know?
But it is hard. You know, even now as a district attorney, a lot of people still call me the judge because they remember me from when I was on the bench. And when I work court, because I actually do go and I work court, you know, I see people, and these are sometimes just minor traffic matters that I knew when I was a judge or an assistant district attorney. And so it's nice to have those conversations. It's nice for people to say, your office, whether you went when I was a judge or as a district DA, help me. Yeah. Whether it's helping me get my license back or I was able to participate in a diversion program, but it helped me. And so we try to help people. We are here for our community. But it's also about seeking justice for our victims.
That's right.
And that's the thing, when you have horrible crimes, you have a lot of victims. You have the victim of the crime and their family members. And then you have the family members of the person that committed the crime. You know, they suffer as well.
Yes.
We don't forget about that. Sometimes there's nothing we can do about that because your person has to suffer a consequence. But what I would like to envision is less crime here in Guilford County, more resources here in Guilford County, and you know, just the community coming together so that we can have more accountability for everyone and to be able to help our youth not get to the criminal justice stage. That is what Avery Crump would like to see happen.
Well, you know, Madam Crump, we will work that as a team. We've been doing it as a team.
We have been working together as a team for a while.
We'll continue to get it done with the help of the community.
Yes.
Community. So, community, this is a plea to the community. I'm asking you, not just myself, but Madam D.A. Crump, as I'll ask them for their help.
We need your help. When you see something, say something. Because remember, this is your community as well. You want your community to be safer. And we cannot, Sheriff's Office, Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, we are not able to do this by ourselves. We need your help. So I'm asking for your help to make sure that we have a better community and a safer community.
That's well spoken. It's hard for me to travel behind that. But I want to say thank you all so very much for taking the time out to watch, to listen, to receive and gain more knowledge about your local court services through Madam D.A. Avery Crump. I'm always trying to get things, but Madam D.A. Avery Crump, who has the knowledge, the experience, and the passion to make sure that this county continues to stay safe and become even safer. I'm your Sheriff Danny H. Rogers of the Guilford County Sheriff's Office, and I want to say God bless you and I love you.
Thank you.